Hi, everybody. David Mark here with Daniel Loria, Executive Director of Ateret Kohanim. We're talking today about the unfortunate, very horrible terror attack in Ramot in Jerusalem. 6 people were killed, many more injured. It really brings back for me at least, a memory of the Second Intifada, where buses were blown up all the time, people were trapped and getting killed, and all over Jerusalem and the rest of the country, and yeah, that was like it triggered that sort of very visceral memories of those days.
It was definitely a shocking reminder about where we are. Sometimes with all the amazing victories that we've seen in Iran and we're bombing, and it's really just the Air Force. You don't really think in terms of what's happening on our back doorstep, because we've had so many amazing victories in the last, basically since the 8th of October, when we suddenly woke up with this national ECT. But today was a shocking reminder that there is an Arab enemy sometimes on our back doorstep. Anyone who thinks that the enemy is Hamas only over in Gaza is not reading the picture. We're forgetting what took place a few years ago when the Arabs of Lod and Ramleh rioted, burnt, looted, destroyed Beit Knesset. Next door neighbors suddenly were just the Jew next door. And we're seeing it today with the help of people from the eastern neighborhoods of Jerusalem, Judea and Samaria. There are people saying that that's another explosion ready to happen. The hate towards the Jew has nothing to do with the state of Israel. I think we've spoken about it before ourselves, how the count of the number of soldiers that are being killed since the beginning, it didn't start the count in 1948. It was Rabbi Avram Shlomo Zalman Tzuref, who was a simple Jew that made Aliyah, that wanted to rebuild the Chuvra, to build in Jerusalem. He was killed for being a Jew before there was a state, before there were settlers, before there was anything. And there's lots of Arabs, I don't want to say every single Arab, because there's no question there are some Muslims that understand that you and me, we are the true son of Abraham, and we were blessed with this land. And someone who doesn't accept that, unfortunately, there's millions of Arabs, including those Hamasniks in Gaza and their supporters, including, as you and I both know, some of the clans very close to us in Shiloach.
Yep.
Um, it's the same hatred. It's the same issue that we have to keep on showing strength and not pretending. There's this ghetto mentality that it'll be okay. It's not. There is a real enemy, Mashia, and until we take total control and do what's necessary against any one of those Arabs who doesn't accept the Jewish state, of course, we've got a bit of a problem, because I think it's one of the biggest problems we've got, is that our hands seem to be tied by the public, state prosecution office and the prosecutors and the courts, whatever we want to do, kick out a terrorist family, evict a terrorist family, expel a terrorist family, death to a terrorist, all these. No, can't do this, you can't do that, you can't hear. I mean, it's just crazy. How do you deal with any enemy? How do you deal with a barbaric Islamic Muslim enemy when your hands are so tied by some of these, by the court system, by the legal system? I don't get it. It's just
Yeah, but
mind-boggling.
it's that, but it's also this mentality. I mean, I was reading today. Oh, there's a hole in the seam line in the fence, and one Arab on this side and the Jerusalem side helped them get through, and their family members drove them to the opening in the security wall. And so what's the first reaction everybody? Oh, we have to repair the wall. We have to put more troops on it, or that's the ghetto mentality.
Knee-jerk, useless reaction.
Totally. It's that's why the issue of sovereignty is serious, because we have to be able to enforce and put our sovereignty over all these areas where these people came from, and that we don't need walls at that point if we're the sovereign.
But not for security reasons. I don't want to. For me, it bothers me when someone says we need to have the depth. We need to have for security reasons. I shouldn't be quoting Mike Huckabee, the ambassador, but he says it the way it is. He says this land belongs to the Jewish people. God gave the land of Israel. It's not because of we need security, we need to have control. It's not a security reason. God gave us the
Right.
land of Israel. It belongs to us. and we should be annexing for that reason and not make up a holiday to make the world be happy. We have
That's
to
right.
stop thinking about the world. It's this is you said the ghetto shtetl mentality. And I'm always reminded about the ghetto shtetl mentality in 1967. We're already 19 years after the establishment of the State of Israel. We go to the Temple Mount. We've reached the pinnacle, and what do all the soldiers do? They go down to the Kotel. Where's the Kotel? You've just reached the pinnacle of Harabait, the place where the Beit HaMikdash stood, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Nevi'im, kings. Let's go down to the Kotel. And there were no debates. There was no Rav. It wasn't like there were government committees that say, no, it was in the mentality. It was, but where's the Kotel? Where's this main thing that we've been for 2,000 years? And I think that, with all due respects, we've got an amazing country. There is still a little bit of a thinking that we've still got a ghetto mentality. What will the world say? You saw how Israel backed down from maybe annexing things because the United Arab Emirates got all upset. We'll cut off ties with it. Who are you? With all due respects, it's great that you're accepting Israel, but if you truly accept Israel and believe that we are the true son of Abraham, then understand that there's not going to be a Palestinian state in Judea and Samaria or Gaza, and we have full rights to annex it.
Sure.
A lot of work needs to be done, Reb David. A lot of work
Sure,
needs to be
sure.
done.
And the most, the most important, some of the most important work is what we're doing in terms of laying the foundation of true sovereignty in Jerusalem. Like we have political sovereignty, but we don't control every street. We don't, we don't actually enforce all the laws. And that's real sovereignty. That's sovereignty on the ground, being sovereign in a place. And with the work we're doing, putting Jewish families in these
If you're
places.
not there, if you're not there, you have nothing. We
That's
can
right.
we can annex E1 and the whole of Yudah Shimon, but if you don't build next to Beit El, next to Shiloh, next to here, the same thing in Yerushalayim.
That's right.
We talk about this all the time about I call the stairs in the Shiloach the sovereignty stairs because until we brought Jewish life back to that area, the municipality didn't act there. And if you don't act, if you don't walk, if you don't have parks and gardens, if you don't have investments there, then you're basically washing your hands of certain parts of Yerushalayim. The work that we do, I don't mean to pat ourselves on the back, but the work that we do is all about real sovereignty,
That's right.
adding Jewish life to the part of Yerushalayim that they want. 1,000 residents of the old city, the old Jewish quarter. It's not enough just to sing Lashana Haba. Those days are gone. That was my great grandparents in Europe. They were allowed to sing. Today, it's not enough just to sing. We have to add, not 1,000, there should be 2,000 Jews living in the old Jewish quarter. Not 43 families in the Yemenite village of Shiloach, but 86 families. And it can be done. It's just a matter of the Jewish world waking up and realizing for true sovereignty, it means involvement of everyone.
Right. That's right. With Am Yisrael has to see this as its ultimate project and its ultimate destiny to settle the entire land, especially Jerusalem, but the entire land. Only then it's clear that will solve the security problem in of itself. In of itself, it solves the security problem.
Well, I think we've already got a few Jews ready to come from Australia because the situation there is getting worse. So should really start to think about an exchange program. Maybe many of the Arabs here going to London and Melbourne or Sydney, and the
Plenty of
Jews from there
land.
should just come home. Igi
Australia
Azman.
is huge. The continent. They can plenty of land down there. Plenty of land.
Well, it's definitely not going to be between the river and the sea. Not that half of these Australians know what the river is or even what the sea is, as we know. But nevertheless, from the river to the sea, I believe there's only room for just one state, and that's ours.
Thank God. Reb Daniel, till next time, we should. Rosh Hashanah is coming up. We should have a Geula Shlema and true security.
I just want before we go, aside from wishing everyone a Shana Tova, for the families that lost dear ones today in this barbaric attack by people who just want to wipe us out, which the world doesn't even see. They think we're trying to wipe out people, and yet we've got people that indiscriminately shoot in a bus. I wish the families well and aliyah for the neshama. May the people that they've lost and that we have lost as a people, may they find comfort wherever they are in the spiritual world, because they're really changing location. Those who have been injured, may they get well quickly. May our soldiers be protected. May we have a decisive, serious, and full victory over these barbarians, these Muslim fundamentalists in Hamas and all their supporters. and maybe a very special year for Am Yisrael. Shana Tova.
Amen, amen. Shana Tova, Adonai. Take care.